school's out, blame corona, but I still got some science I could show ya. No class, no school, that's cool, throw the class on the YouTube. Even if they shut the school down, I'll get that knowledge anyway somehow. Real scholars won't stop for corona. Tune in for that science takeover.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to Mrs. Finney's science class. Thank you for joining from my home to your home. Let's learn science. Shout out first and foremost to the HB Warriors, to all of our subscribers. We're up to what? 155 subscribers. Huge class, huge class. And shout out to all of our visitors. Let's get started with today's lesson. So today we are in the TCI curriculum program called Cells and Genetics. We're in lesson 7, parts of a cell. And we're in section 5, cells must be small. Cells must be small. I thought we already established that, but we need to talk about it. And I want you to know, this section right here is very small, very short, cut and dry. Topic today, cells must be small. So, your learning objective, I can explain why cells must be small. Let's get into it. All right, so here at the top, it tells us nearly all cells are so small that they cannot be seen without using a microscope. Cells can grow larger, but why aren't there giant cells? What stops a cell from growing really large? That's our essential questions for today. All right. Everything a cell needs or must get rid of must pass through its cell membrane. And we talked about the cell membrane in our previous lesson. I want to flash back to an image of it so you can know exactly what we're talking about in regards to the cell membrane. Here's a picture. Okay. All right. And so we have this picture here of our plant animal cell. All right. Outside here we have the cell membrane. Okay. The animal cell. And then right here you have the cell membrane and the plant cell. And we talked last week that the cell membrane dictates who can get in, who can get out of the cell. All right. And so it's pretty much like the bodyguard of the cell. Let me see. ID. Can you get in? Nope. You're good. You're not. All right. You can go in. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome to the cell type of thing. You know, that's the cell membrane. And so we have an understanding of what the cell membrane does. So let's get back to this section here and talk about what is so unique about the cell membrane in regards to the size of a cell. All right. So everything a cell needs or must get rid of must pass through its cell membrane, which makes up the cell surface and separates the inside of the cell from the environment. As a cell grows, it needs more substances and produces more waste. The amounts of cytoplasm that make up its volume increase faster than its surface area does. Let's have a quick math flashback here, and I love math. Oh wow, anyone that knows me well know that I love to teach math and science. So we definitely want to take a look here at this piece here. Okay, in math you've talked about volume. Volume basically is the space that something takes up. So if you have a cup and you fill it with water, okay, you fill the cup to the brim with water, how much space did the water take up, okay, so to speak. And so then when we're talking about surface area, we're talking about the outside of the container. All right, how large is the surface on the outside? So say for instance, if you have a box, all right, you would therefore have to figure out the area of each side and then add that together to get your surface area. Okay, so the amounts of cytoplasm, and that's what fills up the space of the cell, that makes up its volume increase faster than its surface area does. Okay? If it continued to grow, the cell might get so large that its cell membrane could not take in enough needed materials to supply it. And the materials that needed to enter or exit the cell, of course through the cell membrane, might not be able to get where they need to go fast enough because of the longer distance. You get what I'm saying? The longer distance, right? Before a cell reaches this point, it will stop growing and instead divide to form two smaller cells. Before I will travel this far, I will split and make two cells. Basically, that's what it's designed to say, right? I shall not travel that far. I will just divide into two cells, all right? So, smaller cells have a larger surface area in relation to their volume. Smaller surface area in relation to their volume than larger cells do, making membrane transport more efficient. Thus, cells must remain somewhat small in order to survive. That is actually the end of the lesson, okay? Today, we talked about cells must be small, and guess what? This lesson must be very small, and it is. It's very small. Fitting title. All right, so let's take a look at the check for understanding. Select the appropriate term for each blank. Check out the image, okay? So here you see cell, it's getting larger. So it just decides to divide into two, okay? All right, so here we go. Why are cells all relatively small? As a cell grows larger, the amount of cytoplasm that makes up its volume increase what? Faster than its surface area does. If a cell continues to grow, it's what? You want to say cell membrane? Okay. Cannot take in enough needed materials quickly enough to supply the whole cell. Before a cell grows too large, it will generally divide to form two small cells. Okay? So this just shows what we should have to check for understanding. Make sure you have these ones checked off. Okay? All right, so you also have this section here in your TCI program. Shows you two cubes represent a small cell and a large cell. Okay? Either way, microscopic. The formula for surface area of a cube is 6 times the length of one side times the width of one side. Okay, so you would take the length times the width. That will tell you how much that area is on that particular side. And of course, in a cube, you have 6 sides. All right? So, and they're all the same in a cube. The formula for volume of a cube is length times width times depth. Sometimes we say height. Okay? So, in this case, you're talking about a cube, right? They would all be the same. The length, the width, the height, as you can see here in the image. Okay? Dealing with a cube. Now you know how we could do that with S cube. What does that mean? Side times side times side. Side times side times side, because they're all the same. Okay? So which of these two cubes has the largest surface area? All right? So you would know the area here, say of this side, 1 times 1, right? Okay, it's just going to give you 1, right? And then keep in mind there's 6 of them, so you would do 1 times 6, okay? And then we have similar here, 10 times 10, which we know gives us 100. Okay, and then there's 6, so then you would do 6 times 100. Okay, so same thing for both, same strategy for their surface area. Okay, which has the largest volume, and volume is length times width times height. Okay, and which has the largest surface area divided by volume. Okay, so these are pretty simple because we have some very simplistic numbers. So here is shares. The larger box has the larger surface area and volume. Visually obvious, right? The smaller box has the larger surface area divided by volume. Okay? All right, and that is actually the only additional question that you need to answer for in your notes. Make sure you answer this in your TCI notes. This is in Lesson 7, Section 5. Okay? All right, and that is it for this short, sweet, but needed lesson. It was so fast and we're done that quickly. Can't believe it. All right, so we should be able to answer this question. Cells can grow larger, but why aren't there giant cells? What stops a cell from growing really large? Okay, so you should be able to answer those essential questions for today's lesson. Please make sure you head back to our YouTube channel for any videos that you need to review. Go back over, get yourself a refresher. You know, week 1, week 2, week 3, or week 4. We are now going live in week 5. Let's wrap this up with our outro. Here we go. It's been fun. It's been real. We break it down and pick up science skills. Give yourself 2 claps just for tuning in. Come back, meet tomorrow. We can learn again. Oh, it's been fun. It's been real. We break it down and pick up science skills. Give yourself 2 claps just for tuning in. Come back, meet tomorrow. We can learn again. Oh, you all have an awesome rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow. Peace.